It's a fair question. I just love that we're talking.
Much has been made of you wearing the fake penguin for torture scene in the first episode. I was curious, even though the viewer never sees it, was it important for you to have that?
I thought you were going to say, even though the viewer's never seen it, any chance of a look? Funny you should say that.
Yeah. Oh, even though the viewer never sees it, was it important for you to have that to get into the head at that moment, or was it more of a gag?
It's a fair question. I just love that we're talking. It wasn't. It wasn't important for me. It was important for Mike Marino, God bless him, but he just didn't want to take any chances. We were told that it was going to be shot, Oz's full body was going to be shot at an angle from the back, and then anything that was front on was going to be from the waist up. We were told by production, by Craig, our director, that we weren't interested in the appendage, but Mike Marino, being the consummate artist and professional that he is, he didn't want to leave anything to chance, so he gifted me with a donut box with a prosthetic piece, penguin, as it were. It wasn't important at all, but God bless Mike for leaving no stone unturned.
Obviously, a lot's been said about how unrecognisable you are as Oz Cobb, due to the heavy prosthetics, but also the way you talk in the show and the way that you've changed your walk. This isn't the first time you've transformed for a part when you think about Horrible Bosses and Daredevil. Can you talk about the differences in preparing for those past roles and preparing for the Penguin in terms of time and process?
Jeez, I forgot about Horrible Bosses. Yeah, I wore a bald cap and that.
I didn't realise I had to tell you every time I want to take a dump.
This one was much more comprehensive and was much more immersive, both physically, because I was just totally buried. Like in Daredevil, Bullseye, I had a little bit of a prosthetic on my forehead, and Horrible Boss, as I said, I had the skull cap and a little bit of a belly. But this was, I was totally submerged to the point where I'd look in the mirror and what was looking back was nothing recognisable as anything I had come to know as Colin over the last 45 years. But also, it was more immersive psychologically as a result of the amount of story and the character detail that Lauren LaFranc and her team of writers had put down on the page. I knew it was 8 hours of television. So whereas the script for Horrible Boss was 110 pages and I was in about 6 of them, scripts for this was about 500 pages and I was in about 350 or 400 of them. So it was a lot to delve into. There was a lot of information. There was a lot of backstory. A lot of behaviour was explained, if not justified. So it was definitely a deeper dive than those other 2 pieces.
It's a great time for Irish representation in Batman-related projects because there's your friend Brendan Gleeson in Joker 2 in a into cinemas in a couple of weeks. There's yourself, Barry, and your other Banshees co-star, Barry Keoghan, and Peter McDonald in The Batman. You and McDonald briefly appear in The Penguin.
There was Cillian as Scarecrow back in Chris Nolan's.
Yeah, and then there's an Irish gang in The Penguin, the Sullivans. I was curious, when you joined the Batman franchise, were you aware that there was going to be such an Irish presence in the franchise going forward, and was that something you encouraged on The Penguin?
No, I wasn't aware of it, and didn't encourage it. Nothing to do with me. No, that's just Barry's talent and Matt Reeves being drawn to Barry's talent and Brendan's talent and Todd Phillips being drawn to Brendan's talent, and so no, it was nothing to do with me. But it's really, I didn't even join the dots. Really cool to hear that, actually. Yeah.
Thank you so much for speaking to me.
Thanks.
And I can't wait for people to see The Penguin. I also want to say I loved Sugar earlier this year. I'm hoping we get a season 2 about Penguin and Sugar.
Thanks, man. Me too. I'd love to, because I get to be home and Sugar was in Los Angeles, so I get to stay home and do it if we're doing a second season. So I hope so more than anything.